G'day, my name is Dan Hunter, and here's a little video to help you get started with games design. Now, when I speak to my students, the major stumbling block is to where to get ideas from. So in this little tutorial, I'm going to give you the starting blocks to start your games design journey. Now, the most off-putting bit when you start to make a game is definitely the starting. Where do those ideas come from? So I'm going to use a mind map to start brainstorming ideas. So what I've done here is I'm using Coggle. You can use pen paper or any other variety of apps. And what I've done is I've selected a word at random, a theme, a setting for my game, and then just very, very quickly just thrown some ideas down onto my bit of paper and see what sticks. This is very similar to a process known as 100 ideas in 10 minutes. This is where people are faced with a problem, and then what they do is they just try and come up with 100 different solutions, no matter how far-fetched they might be. So in this example, I've done a mind map for the theme of water, and I've started to categorize it with a game point of view. So I've started thinking about actions, what you could be doing in the water. So I've got swimming, surfing, diving, that kind of thing. I've got MacGuffins. Those are collectibles, normally a key component in a video game. I've got ocean life, hazards, potential vehicles. And the whole idea here is to get as many ideas, thoughts down from that I can then perhaps get some game mechanics from. So once I've got my mind map, what I'll do is I'll evidence this in my design document. Here's one I created earlier. And from that mind map, what I'll do is I'll start to come up with game mechanics and some ideas. So taken from the things that I've written down, I like the idea of the player being a diver. So I've tried to make it kind of simple. Who's the protagonist, the player? What are they doing? What are the hazards or the antagonists? What are the collectibles, the achievements? The end of game state, that kind of thing. And can I throw anything else in there? So I'm going up with a diving game where you've got to dive for treasure. Hazards are obviously sea life, wrecks, that kind of thing. And obviously you need to breathe underwater. So there's my ideas straight away. Now, it's a really good idea to limit yourself in terms of a time for your mind map and getting these mechanics down. Don't spend any more than 10 minutes. So from the mind map, then I've got the idea of the game mechanics. I've started to explore the objects, their behaviors or methods, and the attributes they may have. So here, my object table, I've thought about what the diver does, and this is only initial. It will expand as the process goes on. So I've got diver goes up, down, left, right, and the diver collects treasure. So the treasure gives me another object. So what is the treasure? And I'm starting to think about the logic of the game. So on collision with the player, remove from play and add points to the player score. And I've got an attribute there of points that then gives me yet another object, which is the score. So obviously you need some way of recording your achievement, and score is a time-honored way in simple arcade games. That then led to another thing, the high score, and I haven't even covered any of the hazards there. So you can see how your objects and the game mechanics grow. Now, it doesn't just end there, because once I'm thinking about the objects, I'm thinking about the logic, I'm also thinking about testing, even before I've written a line of code. So at this design stage, what I've done is I've gone down and I've started to think about a test plan. So here's a test plan. I'm thinking that you press left and the player swims left. You press right, the player swims right. Space and the player submerges, go up. Perhaps I'm thinking about having a joypad, so I've got tests for that. I've got collisions, that kind of thing. So you can see from that initial stage of just spitballing ideas with a mind map, I'm starting to get the idea of a game down. Now, at this stage in your game development, you're not going to be making a big, massively online player game. You're not going to be making the latest GTA or the latest war first-person simulator. So my advice to you is start simple and then build upon. Go with your ideas rather than just following tutorials, because I find trying to make your own ideas, you get more impetus to succeed and you get greater satisfaction. So there's my top tips for getting started with games design. Good luck, and I look forward to seeing what you come up with. My name's been Dan Hunter, and this has been my games design tutorial.